And welcome back to another video on Disciples Liberation. In today's video, we're going to be talking about companions once again, and we're going to be covering two other companions within the game. Now, companions are so important in this game, and the fact that you can only ever bring along two of them with you absolutely sucks. And because you can only bring along two, that means you really have to think carefully about the two that you bring along. So in today's episode, we're going to go over two companions, going to go over their abilities and their stats and just why I think that they are good to use. And hopefully you guys either agree with me or have some thoughts on it. And if you do, drop that down in the comments and I'll do my very best to make sure that I reply to each and every one of you guys. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. That way you don't miss out on more videos on Disciples Liberations. Anyway, let's get stuck into it. First up, we're going to talk about Sharlea. Now, she belongs to the Undead Hordes. She is an undead elf and she is a melee character. And as with all of the melee companions, she has a walk movement speed of 5. But the most important stat here, in my opinion, is the fact that she has initiative of 151. If you put her in your squad, you're almost guaranteed to be hitting first with her. That is really, really important. Having those first hits in a battle sometimes can absolutely be the difference between winning and losing. So let's talk about her passive ability, which is really, really interesting. So it grants stealth to Sharlea at the end of her turn if she doesn't use her gold AP. It grants regen, agile, and strong while she's in stealth. Now, regen, it gives 15% of their base HP at the beginning of the turn. And agile means they've got the extra 1 to the movement. And strong gives her a 15% to her power. So you could argue that she is the perfect character to kind of skip her first turn. If she skips her first turn, quickly pops on all these ability. And so the next time you take control of her, she's going to be buffed with all of this. Now, her main ability is called Draining Claws. Now, this ability, if you don't move, you can obviously use twice like every other companion. Now, this attack deals physical damage, and you get back 25% of any damage you do as health to your vampire character. Now, as this is the character that's going to be in the thick of the battle, I would highly recommend finishing her main quest. If you finish her main quest, you will get a little something, and she will get buffed, meaning that she'll be a lot more viable in the end game for taking her along. To be honest with you, all of the companions are worth completing their quests because they do all seem to get a nice power bonus for doing so, and it just makes your life a little bit easier. As you can see, Draining Claws doesn't exactly hit like a freight truck. However, it is effective, and because you get to use it twice if you haven't moved, I actually quite like it. But without a doubt, Bloody Vengeance is what makes the vampire character in general so powerful within this game. And that's absolutely no different for Sharlea. So this attack has a cooldown of 4 rounds, so you're probably only ever going to use it once in the battle, so choose wisely when it is you use it. But it has a range of 2 tiles any direction of Sharlea. Meaning that if you use this well and tactically, you can attack multiple targets with it at the same time. It emits unholy damage and inflicts bleed as well. More importantly, the damage to the target is increased by 35% if the targets are already affected by bleeding, which is why I like to run with a vampire alongside her as backup. And it kind of boosts the attacks. And as you can see, this attack actually hits a lot harder than the standard attack as well. So although it's only once within your battle, depending on how long it lasts, it does hit hard. And the last companion we're going to be talking about today is Ormeriel. Now, she is of the Alvin Alliance and as such is an elf. She has an initiative of 120. Now, that isn't as extreme as the last, but it's still up there. You will still be going ahead of a few other units and a few other companions as such, too. And again, you are a melee type. However, you only have a movement of 4, which is actually the lowest movement stat of any of the companions. But she does have a redeeming passive ability, luckily. So her passive ability is called Majestic Presence, and it grants improved critical, inspired, and evasive to allies within a 2-tile range of where she's standing. Now, improved critical attacks are always good. Critical attacks in this game can be real game changers. So that's a 15% buff there. We also have evasive for a 10% buff to dodge any incoming attacks. Again, it can be a lifesaver. But the real good bit here is inspired, which gives you a +2 to your morale. Now, not many people understand the morale in this game. But let's say, for argument's sake, you are honored with the elves. Well, you then get a 10% power boost because of that. So if I have another elven unit stand next to Ormeriel, well, she's going to get another 2 to that, bringing that up to 20% power boost. And not only does it increase your power boost, it also increases your critical hit chance as well. So she kind of acts as a on-field general. Now, her main ability is called Fire Dance, and it's a really interesting ability as well, because most people just have a hit and go type of deal. You can hit, twice, do some damage, and move on. And although she can use this ability twice if she doesn't move, every time you use the ability, you will do 4 slashes. And depending on how many slashes actually connect, it depends all of these buffs and debuffs that get applied. So she inflicts blinded if the target is hit once, protect. It protects her if she has 2 hits. Burning is applied if she hits 3 times, and motivated, which is a buff to her again if all 4 hit. Now, it's not often all 4 do hit. There is a lot of hit and miss with this, unfortunately, but it can be incredibly powerful if they do all hit. And this ability is also dealing primal damage too. As you can see, it doesn't always hit, but if you can get them all hitting, it does hit hard. Ability number 2 is called Ice Prison, and again it will do primal damage, and it inflicts paralyzed, bleeding, and chilled on the target. Now, I personally always love an ability that inflicts any kind of bleeding, so again, this is a reason why I like this. This is also a ranged attack, so it's got a range of 5 and only a cooldown of 3, so you've probably got a good chance of actually using this twice within any given battle. Honestly, another reason why I like to use Ormeriel is this ability for the chilled factor, as it helps me use another spell with Aviana. And the fact that this move actually inflicts paralyzed to the target that you're hitting as well, that's very OP, especially if you've got a big heavy hitter coming towards you. You can just stop them in their tracks. But guys, that is it for the end of this video. So if you've enjoyed what you've watched, found it entertaining, or just want to see more videos on Disciples Liberation, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on the next one coming up. Because of course we are going to be covering the rest of the companions in the game and much more. But don't fret if you don't have these companions. They are very, very difficult to actually miss. You kind of get to a point in the story where you can find a good chunk of all your companions. But let me know down in the comments below your favourite companion. Is it one of these two here, or is it someone else? Personally, at the moment, I just think Sharlea is just too good to drop. But I've been a monk, we've been Critically Clueless, and until next time, happy gaming.